All you do is torture yourself with work you can't do anymore.
No, I love you more than anything in the world. You're my muse.
I'm not.
Alice? Alice?
My, oh my, what a wretched life. I was born on the day that my poor mama died. I was cut from her belly with a Stanley knife. My daddy did a jig with a drunk midwife. Who's that yonder all in flames? Waiting behind a sack of chains.
We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI. Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her.
Well, jumped the devil and he staked his claim.
Hello everybody, Steerpike here, timely as ever, to talk about a game that's 4 years old. Alan Wake is a haunting psychological thriller from the makers of the first two Max Payne games. Who cares if it's old? It's fantastic. It's scary, fun to play, well-written, twisty story, gorgeous graphics. Plus these days you can get it for a song on Steam or 360. Time magazine actually awarded Alan Wake Game of the Year for 2010, calling it Hitchcockian. And there's no question Remedy Entertainment was channeling the master of suspense with this story about madness and darkness and obsession. In that story, our hero, Alan Wake, is a novelist on the brink of hugeness. He's written a couple bestsellers, but isn't quite there yet. And writer's block has kept him away from the typewriter for over 2 years. Dude can't put a single word on paper, and the stress is beginning to break him down. Thinking a change of scenery might kickstart the creative juices, his wife Alice bundles him off to the sleepy Pacific Northwest town of Bright Falls for a bit of R&R. Alice Wake is a really nice lady. She's been staggeringly patient with her husband's drinking and his increasingly unhinged block-related stress. Beyond that, all we really know about Alice is that she suffers from incapacitating nyctophobia, which is a fancy way of saying she's afraid of the dark. Their vacation spot is not, therefore, ideal for her. It's an ancient cabin with unreliable electricity perched on an island in one of the deepest, blackest caldera lakes in the world. What she was thinking when she booked the place is anybody's guess, but you can probably see where this is going. They have a fight over Alan's writer's block, and he storms outside into the evening, knowing full well she won't follow him in the dark. Seconds later, he hears a scream and the vacation's over. Alice has been kidnapped. Or maybe she fell in the lake. Or maybe Alan's just losing his mind because shit starts getting really weird. Time goes wonky. 1 minute he's jumping into the lake to save his wife, next he wakes up in a smashed car, then he's in the forest getting attacked by the Taken, these darkness-shrouded hillbillies that are evidently what the residents of Bright Falls turn into when the sun goes down. The Taken hate light. To defeat them, you've got to first burn away their protective darkness with a flashlight or something, then blast them with a gun. Did I mention Alan Wake is a novelist? Novelists are about as far from Max Payne as anybody could be, so the gunplay has a much more desperate, panicky feel than Remedy's other games. To Alan, the Taken are both a threat to his life and an obstacle between him and Alice. But are they real? Is any of this real? Dangerous as they seem, the Taken disappear in a puff when he shoots them. Besides, psychotic hatchet people cloaked in darkness aren't exactly the stuff of reality, right? As time goes on and things get more and more supernatural, you can't help but wonder how much of this is actually happening and how much is going on in Alan Wake's mind. The game's broken into 6 chapters, each with a little previously on Alan Wake opener. At first I thought that would be annoying, but it fits in with the game's structure and it helps your mind work like Alan's, which is to say, not very well. He's misplaced his wife, he keeps losing hours and days at a time, he's hearing voices, he can't swing a cat without hitting a Taken, and he's being hunted by this malicious dark force thing. Is he going crazy, or has he already? Remedy pulled off this mystery, this psychological thriller really well, and Hitchcockian is an accurate compliment. Alan Wake was originally planned as an open-world game, but they decided that interfered with their ability to tell a story, so they abandoned it for a linear structure. It doesn't really hurt Alan Wake's impact, though I would have loved to see the sprawling sandbox mystery they originally intended. As it is, we'll have to settle for the other weird, semi-supernatural, open-world psychological mystery thriller set in the Pacific Northwest. Max Payne's influence is pretty strong. There's less shooting, but you'll recognize the pedigree. Alan rarely has a moment of peace without axe-wielding monsters screaming in at him from every shadow. And oh god, the shadows. And everything else. Alan Wake for PC is a DirectX 10 game, and this game looks good. The eerie northwestern forests, massive draw distance, and amazing dynamic lighting effects can't be beat. Facial models are a little dated, but other than that, it's one of the most striking games of its generation, even 4 years out from release. So as he races around looking for Alice, Wake comes on these typed pages that appear to be from one of his own manuscripts, but one he has no memory of writing. The pages are a trail of spooky breadcrumbs, possibly leading to his wife's captors. They explain character motivations and fill in lots of Bright Falls history, which figures prominently into what's happening. Manuscript pages also sometimes reveal the future, which is kind of sweet. You'll find pages that recount conversations you haven't yet had, or that casually mention Alan getting attacked by a chainsaw maniac or run down by a bulldozer, and you're like, wait, what? Now? I'm going to get eaten by a chainsaw bulldozer? When? And then you're stuck waiting for it to happen, knowing it's coming. It's actually more terrifying than if it had been a surprise. The crucial pages are pretty easy to find, others are hidden. This is a linear game in the sense that you go from A to B to C, but leftovers from the open world plan are evident throughout. Exploring and looking for manuscript pages is no easy task in the wide, dark forest, especially since you get attacked if you dawdle. And without all of them, you won't get the whole picture. I never learned some things, like why this one loose cannon FBI agent turned up halfway through the game and why he was so hell-bent on arresting me. Not finding pages adds to the suspense rather than making you feel like you've missed something, plus it gives you a reason to play through twice if you feel like it. Compared to the open world they originally planned, Alan Wake might feel a little simplistic. You fight and get some story, then fight more, then story, and that's it. But the story is compelling, and the fighting is tense and reasonably challenging. I wouldn't say this is a hard game, though. Unless you really suck, this game's not going to get the better of you. Light equals safety in the world of Alan Wake. Light also equals checkpoints, and there's plenty of it. Health regenerates, you'll never run short of ammo or flashlight batteries. In fact, some people would probably call it too easy, but I think Alan Wake is about telling a story. If you get stuck, you can't get the story. From Remedy's perspective, that'd be a failure. It took me maybe 12, 14 hours to finish Alan Wake. The Steam version comes with 2 DLC packs. They add maybe another 3 hours, maybe 4. It's a fair amount of time for your money, and it wraps up just when you want it to. Alan Wake stays serious and grown up and keeps you emotionally invested. Secondary characters tend to be the most interesting in this disturbing, ominous adventure. The town sheriff, the town doctor, the host of the radio station's late-night show, the waitress at the diner. Bright Falls is a character, too. A small town that seems so real you could visit. Wake's agent Barry is a riot. His role as occasional comic relief breaks up the unbearable tension. Overall, the writing is second to none, which is what we've come to expect from Remedy games. I am related to a writer of thrillers. In fact, my brother Marcus basically is Alan Wake, aside from the love of Tweed and the alcoholism and the kidnapped wife and the swirling darkness monster. Marcus actually got me a copy of Alan Wake for the 360 back when it came out in 2010. Then my 360 broke, again, and then I got a new one, and that one scratched the bejesus out of the disc that he'd gotten me, so I put it on the shelf and forgot all about it until a Steam sale. Sort of proving that even the most generous intentions go to hell no matter how hard you try. Maybe because I have an inside view of the profession, I really get Alan's constant worry, the pressure of continuing to produce original work, the fear of writer's block, the occasionally nutty fans, and vague concerns over safety because of them. It all struck chords in me. It's too bad, then, that Wake himself doesn't quite ring true as a character. The actor who plays him is kind of bland, not nearly frantic enough about Alice's disappearance. Also, my brother would be appalled by the way Alan Wake treats his fans. He'll be first to tell you that just because you got a couple bestsellers under your belt doesn't mean you can blow off the people who pay your rent, no matter how annoying or occasionally creepy they might be. Still, that's the only thing that feels off about the writing in the game. Alan Wake was announced in 2004 or something, took forever to get made, and once it did come out, it sold slow, turtle slow. Despite critical praise and awards, it was considered kind of a bomb, but it has continued to sell. As of last December, it's moved 2 million units, so reasonably successful. Enough to spawn a sort of sequel, the downloadable Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Remedy's been quiet recently, but they're expected to announce a new project soon. Some speculate it'll be another Alan Wake game, which would be just fine with me. Alan Wake is one of those unnoticed gems I wish I'd played before, and if you haven't played it, you should. You like Max Payne? You like good writing and gripping story? Not afraid of the dark? If you're in the market for a memorably suspenseful game, check Alan Wake out. Like most novelists, it might not go down in history or be remembered forever, but it is a hell of a lot of fun while you're under its spell.
Pretty please, can you tell me where I am? You, what you say?